All about some new whiskeys that we haven't tried.
Never tried
any of these?
Never tried any of these.
All right, there we go. Hey guys, how are you? So it's part 2 of our special live
Whisky Expo 2017.
Nice.
So we have a special guest on with us. We promised we'd bring some special people on, not just us. Nobody wants to see just us. So today we have Raj on, and you've been on with the test dummies before, right?
I have, yeah. I can't remember if it was late last year or earlier this year, but yeah.
Tell us about yourself. What do you do for a living?
Well, I'm one of the owners of Glass Revolution Imports. We import mostly whiskeys from around the world. We also have some other products. We've been around for about 7 or 8 years. 3 years in a row, we were named Whiskey Importer of the Year by Whiskey Magazine.
That's always nice, right?
Yeah, and then this year they named me World Whiskey Ambassador.
Oh, wow.
So,
does that come with a trophy? Or
it comes with a kick in the pants. It's like,
that's what most awards come with. So what did you bring to the tasting?
So on the table, I've got a variety of different things that we have there, but what I brought was 2 single malts from Scotland that are bottled by independent bottlers, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then Amrut Fusion, which is a single malt from India.
And that's getting a lot of good press. We've heard a lot of good things about it. And this particular one is partially peated, is that right?
Well, yeah. So for the Fusion, they make a single malt that's 100% Indian barley, and then they also do a single malt that's peated, but they import the peated barley from Scotland. Everything else is done at the distillery. And then they take 75% of the single malt, 25% of the peated, and marry those together.
Okay.
So in 2010, when it first was released, it was World Whiskey Advocate named it World Whiskey of the Year. And then the Whiskey Bible called it third best whiskey in the world, gave it 97 points. And it keeps winning awards every year.
That's great.
So what
we're going to do is, the first thing I'm going to start you with is from another independent bottler called Five Lions. This is the 8-year-old Glenallachie. You don't see a lot of Glenallachie around. It's a distillery that was only opened in 1967, and then because there was a lot of demand in the U.S. for single malts back then. So this is a single barrel, aged in an Oloroso sherry cask for the full 8 years, bottled at 59% alcohol, so 118 proof. So
that's the
Cilantro. You're going to get the malt on the nose. Getting strong. Yeah.
That's really nice.
So Glenallachie, what do they normally bottle for?
So Glenallachie, 99% of the production goes into blends. The base spirit is so good that it's used to really pump up a lot of them. So they rarely release single malts. Once in a while they do, but you will see more now because Billy Walker just bought them. Okay. Billy Walker, who sold Ben Romack, and he had.
So this is his new pet project.
This is a new project. So, and he bought it because it's great spirit, and also because it had older stock as well. So you will see a lot more of those. I think
that's beautiful.
8-year-old whiskey, it's lovely. And it just goes to show you that age really, is a number.
Absolutely. I mean, it does feel like a middle base. It's like old Scotch, just a little bit of malt, a little bit of, there's not much sweetness. So you said this is an Oloroso sherry cask?
It's an Oloroso sherry cask, 8 years.
See, I get some of the sweet on it.
Yeah, I do too. I get sweet on the finish, but I'm getting more sort of like chocolatey, malted milk kind of finish on there.
Malted milk, that's what that's the flavor I'm looking for. It feels like it's kind of malty, but not. It's malted milk, that kind of.
And it's a very typical Speyside style whiskey. Speysides are, sort of a little lighter than Highlands are, more fruity, more grassy, and that's what you're getting there. But it's again, most of their aging goes into bourbon barrels. Once in a while, they do use sherry barrels like this.
So this is kind of a one-off.
It's a one-off because it's a single barrel. There were only. There's probably around 280 bottles with this.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And we get to sip on a little bit. So
there you go.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a wonderful whiskey.
Very, very nice one.
Yeah, and it's it was one of the ones that I think it'll be nice to highlight the show. Yeah, right now everyone's drinking the VIP stuff.
Absolutely.
But they'll be coming back to
And
this.
so that's at 57%, you said?
59.
59%. It does not taste anywhere near that hot.
No, I mean it's got some heat to it, but it's
Not at 59%.
usually you don't get the sweet to kind of counteract it. But
See
this
that
is very
when
smooth.
you get a single barrel and cast strength, because it has very little filtration in there, you're getting all of the fats and oils, the full flavor.
Yep.
So that's why you get a really nice balance in it.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's
and
nice.
it's very good.
That's
So, how much is a bottle of this going for?
You know what? Good question. I wrote that
Check the
down.
notes.
I can't remember, but I did write it down. Hopefully it's in here somewhere. Yeah,
See, we love putting people on the spot. We love it.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm glad you did. Okay, there we go. So, $87.99.
Really?
Wow.
That's a great
Well,
whiskey.
And-
59%.
And I think at the show it's like $79.99 or something. So.
That's a really good one. I really enjoy that. So,
We're gonna move to Amrut Fusion.
I got to tell you that I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of people are. So as I was saying, the Amrut Fusion is a single malt that is composed of 75% of their single malt, which is 100% Indian barley, and 25% of the peated single malt, which the barley is peated in Scotland.
Now, from what I understand, obviously the aging process is a little more rapid in India because of the climate difference.
Right. So, Scotland, their average angel share or rate of evaporation is 1 to 2% a year. Guess how much it is in Bangalore?
I'm going to guess well over 10%.
You're saying 5? They're closer. 10 to 15% a year. So, just think in 5 years, 50% of your barrel has evaporated.
Wow. That's expensive.
And the other thing that happens is because the humidity is a little lower there because they're inland, they lose more water, so the alcohol strength goes up.
Wow.
So we've seen things coming out of barrels.
That's what happens in
Kentucky.
Kentucky as well. I don't think it's quite as fast though.
It's not quite as fast, but you still have that high
humidity.
that high humidity or that low humidity, so you lose more water than alcohol.
So this is a really a challenge for the people monitoring these barrels.
Right. So it's not computerized. Everything's done by hand. The master distiller has to go and check it out. And so the unique thing about Amrut is they always have a batch number on the bottom, on the back label, as well as when it was bottled. And every batch is going to be slightly different.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah, it is.
That's
So
part
they're
of the
not,
fun.
it's not being made to a formula. I mean, it's formula, but it's not being made by computer to be something exactly,
So for those of you who are just joining us, this is Raj with Glass Revolution. And we're trying the Amrut Fusion here. We've got a couple bottles of us here for us to try here.
Wow.
And I haven't gotten into it yet.
So this is 50% alcohol or 100 proof.
Maybe.
That doesn't taste that at all. But
No.
the surprising thing for me was that I really didn't get a whole lot of that peat on the nose
Right.
at all.
Right.
I got a lot of sweet,
Yeah.
and
And you get the smokiness at the back of the throat,
Yeah.
back of the palate, sort of finishes smoky. This is really nice as an introduction to people who say they don't like peated whiskeys.
Yeah.
Having this is a nice transition from something like the Speyside or Highland whiskey before you go full-blown
it's crazy,
Highland.
right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm tasting. And you were saying, yeah, I don't get the smoke. When it first hit my palate, I'm like, there's no smoke here. There's no peat here. I don't get any of that. But then as soon as it rolled back, like you just said, it's like, oh, there it is. That's what I love.
Yeah, you can get a little bit on the nose, and
Just
if actually you put like a couple of drops of water in there, it will open it up
a little bit.
just a little bit on the nose, and you can get more of the flavors in there, full profile of it.
So, what was the thought process behind this whiskey? Do you know?
Well, it was the fellow who is the global sales director and brand ambassador. A lot of the innovation are his ideas. So being a family distillery, being a small family distillery, they can do a lot of innovation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in Scotland, normally what they will do is they will put some peated and unpeated barley into the mash bill when they distill it. But Ashok said, well, why not doing that? Why don't we take our separate whiskeys and marry them together? And that whole process is actually called marrying. And
so they're making actually two separate whiskeys,
correct,
and putting them together.
Correct.
And I think that's good because that way you can blend it perfectly.
Right.
You can blend it to whatever your flavor profile.
Right.
If you add the grains together, then you're like, well, I hope it works.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason they call it fusion is it's the fusion of the Indian barley and then the peated barley.
So how long do they let it sit together before they bottle?
So the single malt they age it for 4 years. The peated is about 6 years, and then when they marry them together, it sits together in a barrel for about 9 months to a year.
Okay, that's actually a long time.
Yeah, and again, I mean, considering that young whiskey, the gorgeous color on there, they're not adding any color, not adding any flavor. It's all natural.
Wow, that's crazy. Do
they find that they're extracting more out of the barrel because of the temperature difference?
So not only do you extract more, you also get more interplay. So, there's a lovely symbiotic relationship between barrels and the spirit in there. So when 60 to 70% of your flavor comes from the barrel, right, for a whiskey. So when you make spirit into the barrel, some of those volatiles get absorbed by the wood, and then it extracts things like vanilla and honey and caramel flavors.
Squeezing the bee. That honey.
Well, this is amazing stuff. And this is actually my first Indian whiskey. It's actually been on our list for some time, and we just had never. I'm sure you can imagine how many we have to go through.
Oh, I'm sure.
And walking into a liquor store is kind of almost overwhelming because we get so many requests from people that want us to try different things. But this one was one of the ones that I was actually wanting to get to. And
the nice thing is now there are two other single malts being made in India and available in the U.S. So the whole category is expanding. I think earlier one of you said about Japanese whiskeys. I think India is sort of on that where Japan was 10 or 12 years ago.
Right.
A lot of people still don't know about it.
Are they becoming popular in India as well?
Well, that's a good question. When this was developed first, it was developed as export only.
Oh, really?
And people from India started calling the distillery saying, where can I get it? Yeah. And they said, you got to leave the country to get it. And it's actually very difficult for a domestic producer to be able to sell in the different states in India. They all have regulations. It's easier for a foreign producer to do it. It is now available in about 4 or 5 different states in India. And it's also in 42 countries around the world.
Because I know India is one of the largest Scotch consumers in the world.
Whiskey consumers.
Okay.
But a lot of what's whiskey is called whiskey in India would not be called whiskey anywhere else.
Oh, really?
Because it's molasses based with either some grain alcohol or some other stuff added to it, and it's sold domestically as whiskey.
See,
yeah.
that's that international difference, right?
Yeah. But they do make good quality barley whiskey, as this is shown, and there are other 100% barley whiskeys available too.
So since they've started, are there other producers that are starting to come online?
Yeah, as I said, there's 2 more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and different again because they're in different regions of India. You can have different flavor profiles.
Absolutely. Well, probably the barley that they use and everything about it.
Right.
So.
And then the last whiskey we have is from another independent bottler called Blackadder. And Blackadder, just like Five Lions, sources barrels, decides when to bottle them. If he doesn't like the barrel they're in, they might put it into another barrel to finish off, a rum barrel or a sherry barrel or something.
Okay.
And they always have the name of the distillery on it, but he has a couple of names that are proprietary to him. So Smoking Islay is one, Peat Reek is another one, A Drop of the Irish is another one. The Smoking Islay, sometimes it's 100% single malt. This particular one is actually an Islay blended malt Scotch whiskey. So it's not a blend, it's a blended malt, which means it has malts and malt from different distilleries. And as Robin Tusick, who owns Blackadder, says, it's a very smoky, very peaty Islay blended malt Scotch whiskey.
Right up your alley, right there.
As opposed to Peat Reek, which is the very peaty, very smoky. So it's more peaty.
So that's something that we've had discussions online here. Is there a difference between peat and smoke? I'm like, oh yeah, there is.
Absolutely there is.
So I'm looking forward to this. This is the smoky, the peaties, those are my wheelhouse, my favorite.
So again, this is 110 proof or 55%. Okay. There were 428 bottles released. This is bottle number 144, and there's no age statement on it, but it.
So I'm assuming it has a batch number since he makes it differently every time.
Yeah. So it actually is. Doesn't have it on there. Sometimes they put on the actual batch number, but this isn't. But this you won't see this again. I mean, this is when the 428 bottles are gone, they're gone.
That's it.
You'll never see it again.
I'm getting molasses notes on this. I mean, it's like a smoked molasses or something.
Yeah, it's got smoky sweet.
There's a lot of sweetness in this.
Like that deep, dark, like molasses.
And you often get that. So I always find younger, peaty, smoky Islay whiskeys have so much more character than older ones because as you age them, you lose some of that peated essence that's in there.
Absolutely.
It dissipates over time.
That's correct.
So a 7 or 8 year old Islay single malt, they're incredible.
This smells great.
There's good examples of them here. I mean, if you Kilhoman, which is one of the newest Islay distilleries, they're making younger. I mean, now they've got older ones, but some of their younger whiskeys were beautiful.
I just stopped by that table about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, they're great.
So this is really light in color. You see the color compared to the other ones. So it's very clear in the glass, but that blend of smoke and peat is
it's a punch in the mouth.
It's almost unparalleled because you have a Lefroy, it's like this charcoal smoke, and you have Lagavulin, which is a nice peat, sweetness. But this has some of that both. It's got that.
Well, that's a nice thing when you have the blended malt. So you've got 2 or 3. I can't tell you exactly what goes into it, but 2 or 3 different Islay. Right. So 2 or 3 different Islay malts go into it, so you're getting sort of that essence of Islay. You're getting maybe instead of having to visit there and visit like 3 or 4 different distilleries, you're getting all of that in one bottle.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's wonderful stuff. So what's the price on this?
This is also 80, same price as the Lady Glen was.
So very reasonably priced.
Yeah, and the Fusion was $69.99, and these two are $87.99.
That's a great deal.
Yeah,
3 of these are wonderful.
They are great.
So this reminds me a lot of Peat Monster, but I think it's got more sweetness to it.
Right.
I need to taste them side by side, but the balance here, again, that's what Compass Box does as well.
Yeah.
Because they marry to a flavor profile.
Right.
That's what they've done here.
And I mean, I certainly think it's sort of that sweetness is really interesting. So it's sweet smoke rather than like ashtray or bonfire smoke.
It's like burning cane sugar.
There you go.
You know what I mean? It's got that sweetness to it. I mean, and it's really prominent.
Yeah. I mean, I think people who say I don't like. People say I don't like smoky whiskeys. I mean, I think this.
You just have to try more.
Right. You do. They're all different. Yeah, they're all different.
Well, these are wonderful. All 3 of these were great.
Thank you. Thanks for the time.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's always nice to have somebody who actually knows what they're talking about instead of just a couple of dummies on here. But these are great, and it gives all of our viewers get a chance to kind of be here and virtually share in your knowledge and so we wish you all the best, and I'm sure that you're trying to bring on some new.
We're always got new stuff. We always have new things coming in, so we always put it up on our website, or if you follow us on social media, we're always posting that. So.
And you guys import into Canada as well as the United States.
We do a little bit into Canada, mostly Western Canada, but predominantly into the U.S. And we have distribution in about 45 states.
All right, so do you want to talk to Scott for a couple minutes, or you got to go? What's your plan?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, somebody's covering me, so if you want me here, otherwise I can go.
So,
absolutely.
We're here with Raj from Glass Revolution. Important, it's a great Scotch, so we tasted here. Online, we have Scott from the Scotch Test Dummies. I think I'm going to put it here. If you see the truck, so I can hear him. And switch back and forth. Hey, Scott, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, Scott, we see you here. I see you got a bottle of the Amrut Fusion with you.
Nice.
You bet. I always got a bottle of the Fusion sitting around somewhere.
Excellent. So Scott from the Amrut Fusion as well. So if you want to pour a little glass of that.
Oh. Well, I guess I'll have to do something with that.
So we just traded this Blackadder with another independent bottle that we need to really start to consider getting a bottle for review, because that's really good stuff. Well, I hope. But I need to wash out here, and we'll try this Amrut with Scott on it.
I have actually. Well, first of all, the Fusion, and thanks for having me on, guys. And Raj, thanks for coming on our show a while back. That was great. The Amrut Fusion, though, to me, when I first open up the bottle, I get a little faint hint of peat, and it's almost as if the longer the bottle is open, the stronger the peat becomes with it. Because now the peat has gone from just a hint of peat to a big blast of peat. They're not a big blast, but medium peat.
Yeah, that's what this is.
So is that what Scott has in his glass as well?
He's got the bottle in front of him, same thing.
I've got the English Whiskey Company peated cask strength, which Raj hasn't touched on yet.
Right. I didn't have any here, so I brought this up. But Scott, just out of curiosity, your Fusion on the back label, what's the batch number?
What happened? I was watching the
Batch number 42.
Okay, so we're actually drinking batch number 60.
Holy cow!
So there, as I was saying earlier, there are slight differences in each batch.
Oh, really? So he's got batch 42. You got batch 60.
Yeah.
I mean, how many batches do you get this year? Do you have any idea?
Well, so every batch is probably going to be about probably about 1,000 cases. So
okay.
We're actually right now. I think I'm working on batch 70. But Scott, you mentioned the English Whiskey Company peated. So that was the first new whiskey distillery in England in over 100 years. And they do a classic single malt and then their peated single malt.
Now, back when you was on our show and we were talking, that you were just starting to bring, I believe at that time, the English Whiskey Company into the States. How's that going, and how many states are you in now with it?
Well, we're in about 20 states with it. We're trying to get into the other ones as well. And actually, right now, we will be releasing new labeling and new packaging for them. So we've slowed down a little bit. We'll have that available next month.
Okay. So did you guys talk with him about the bottle of your review? The English Whiskey Company?
I don't know. Scott brought that up. I didn't know you imported English Whiskey Company.
Yep.
Because we've had a bottle of it.
Yeah, we just reviewed one. I don't know which one it was. We'd have to look it up online and see.
Was it peated or unpeated?
It was unpeated.
The classic.
Yep.
Classic. That's it.
Yeah. Scored okay.
It's a little lighter, but the newer ones coming out, they're obviously aging more and developing a little bit more.
Right.
So. This is delicious. I like that. The cinnamon on the nose and on the taste. It's very sweet.
Fusion, yeah.
I like it a lot. What's the ABV on that?
So hey, a question for the dummies there. How many drinks are you guys in already?
Is it that obvious?
Well, they're small. So
we need I don't know if you've been given reports about how many. We need some updates.
So
Scott, you're
I don't even know if we can count. We've had a lot of little sample stuff like this, about this size right here.
That's a lot of water.
That's a lot.
This is more of the sample size.
Yeah, that's normal. I would say I've had probably 8 or 9, maybe more.
I'm not counting.
Nice
I'm not keeping track because I got to leave.
I just ate some food real quick to help out.
Let me throw it back to you, Scott. What should we be at? What's an acceptable
Are we
number?
falling behind the big boom?
It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah, 1 ounce an hour.
1 ounce an ounce.
Yeah, that's
we're ahead of that schedule.
My long shot.
I don't know if I'm going to make it 12,
I remember
boys.
you giving us that advice, and we obviously threw that through the window.
Well, the only thing to remember, though, is it depends on how much alcohol. So if you're doing a 60% alcohol whiskey, you really don't want to do
like a half an hour.
You don't want to do an ounce of that an hour.
So I haven't even smelled this yet.
That's really good. I like
So
that.
it's a combination of peated and unpeated.
And what's the price of this guy going for?
About 70.
Okay.
That's pretty good value.
Yeah, I like that.
That'll be pretty high for us.
What's it finished in? Is it what kind of barrels does it put in?
So it's aged in a combination of new oak barrels, new American oak, and ex-bourbon barrels.
Okay. I smell the new oak. I smell the new oak, and it kind of smells lemony, grassy.
But you sort of get that smokiness at the back of the palate.
I haven't tasted it yet.
Yeah,
because I really don't get any peat on.
yeah. You get very little on the nose, but
It's one of those, Mark, to me, the longer that it's open, the more you can notice the peat in it. At first, when the bottle's opened, it's pretty slight. There's a slight hint of peat. And then just as it oxidizes, the peat really moves to the forefront on it.
So let me ask you guys about that, though. You too, Scott. Normally, what I find is like a smokehead, some of those peaty whiskeys, the longer you leave it sit in the glass, the it airs off. The peat kind of just dissipates and floats away. But you're saying this is a little bit backwards.
Yeah, I think so. And even in the bottle, the longer the bottle is open,
That's interesting.
it should. When I first opened the very first bottle I had, when I first opened it, very little peat. I thought, well, just a very slight hint of peat in here. And then after, a few drinks out of it, a few months later, you go back and it's like, wow, there's a lot more peat in here than I remember.
Well, unfortunately, I'm about ready to leave because my daughter is a senior, and tonight is senior night at the football game. So
Oh, there you go.
I walk across the field.
Get out of here. You good?
You can go take her across the field with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a good full stomach of food, so I can drive home.
Right.
He's got to come back to pick us up. So
We'll drink your share.
Save some good stuff. We got bottles if we need a bottle.
There you go.
We'll get some bottles.
I noticed Sean. Is anybody keeping tabs on Sean?
Sean's gone. We don't know where he's at. I think he's in a barrel somewhere drinking something.
Thank you, Raj.
Thanks.
For joining us.
Thank you very much.
See you guys. I'll see you guys in a while.
Appreciate it. I got to get back to my table.
yeah, you
Thank
do
you.
absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Raj.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Raj, for coming in.
Hey,
Nice
Scott
seeing
said
you
thank
again.
He said good seeing you. He can
Tell
hear
him
you.
I got to get Scott. I'll get you guys some more stuff to put on the next show. We got to do another one. So
Yes, absolutely.
We want to do a show
Yeah,
with
don't
you too.
forget us here, Raj.
So, Dummies
Yeah,
calling.
Yeah, we can have a
Dummies
dummy
squared.
come.
All right.
We've talked about that, right,
Yeah.
Scott? I mean, when are we going to do this big
Oh, definitely.
combo, right?
Oh, yeah, I know. We definitely need to mark some dates in 2018 for sure, I think.
I think that's the only way we're going to make it happen.
Yeah, I think
let's
we
just
need to
do
do
it.
it. Yeah.
Put it on the calendar. I really wish you guys could have been up here. I think you guys would have had a really good time. We would have had a really good time with you.
Next year, let's plan for here. Maybe you should definitely come here next year and do the expo.
Who knows?
Mark, what have you had so far?
So
what's
I've had a couple of interesting things, Scott. I had a few things that everybody else has had. The Parliament, the Glendronach 21 Parliament was absolutely exquisite. The Ben Riach 17 heated was really good because I asked him what's the difference between that and the Solstice because it's 17 as well. And
Does
he
he have
said,
repeated?
"Oh, you're killing me!
You're killing
Smalls.
me.
Come on, man. Wait a minute.
Mr.
here,
Prepared.
I know he is prepared." So anyway, the difference between the Ben Riach 17 and the Solstice is that the Solstice is finished in sherry. So, because this Ben Riach 17 heated really good too.
It's nice.
One of the things that was really interesting that came at me here right before I came on camera, Sean sent me over to try the chapter number 7 Kilhoman. Okay, never had it. So I went and did it, and as I got to talking to this guy, it's good. We're talking a little bit about it. I noticed they happen to have a CWC island, and I was like, well, which one is this? Is this the one that we bought previously? And he's like, actually, it's her sister. This is the sister cask to that. And I thought, oh, so I got to talking to him about that, and he found out that I was worthy of a bottle that he doesn't have on the table, and he pulled it out from underneath, and he gave me a pull of an ass keg, which I don't know anything about. Do you know anything about that, Scott?
I don't know. I'm
Hold
sure
on.
we've got. I know Scott Monroe's on here. Roy's on here with the Skeg. Maybe some other people have had it.
So it's right there. So he pulled up this ass cake and he poured this for me. And so obviously it's an independent bottler, and you know, they can't tell you where it comes from. But if you flip it over and you look at where port ass cake is, it happens to be right below a specific distillery. So that the rumor is that's what it is. It was interesting. It was pretty good, and he said it is going to be in the Indiana market here within the next couple of months. So right on. That'll probably find its way, you know, to a review for us if we can't talk him into sending us home or something.
That'd be nice.
It'd probably be cheaper than that Glenallachie 40, right?
Yeah. Why don't you help us out with that, Scott? We'll send you a sample.
I did just pick up the Glenallachie 21 from Masters of Malt, my first Masters of Malt purchase. And delivered, it was $159 with shipping and everything.
So that's the Parliament?
Yeah. Yep. 21 year. You betcha.
No, that's not bad.
You know,
I know it.
That's not bad.
That's been our biggest hang-up is the whole shipping cost, but we've not done that yet. I think we probably are getting to the point where we're going to have to find the good scotches because we've gone through everything else.
You know, you
Hey,
and I
Sean?
talked about this. Yes, sir.
We had, you were gone there for a little bit. We had people out looking for you, and we got a picture back. Someone had found you outside.
We cleaned them up.
Yeah.
I got a picture of that guy in New Orleans. It may or may not be me. I'm just saying.
That's pretty good timing. Pretty good timing, Scott.
But you know what? I shook it off. It was okay.
He's back. He put the coat back on. He's ready to go. You can rally.
Now by 9 o'clock, it may be a different story around here.
Hey, don't worry about Sean. He's a big boy. We got some old Forester over in the corner for him.
I think that was a boom.
Oof.
Don't be scared of it.
I don't want none of that. I don't want none of that.
You guys got to start doing the bourbons at some point.
Yeah, that's what everybody says except Mark.
Not this guy. Hey, I'm not the Scotch whore for nothing, Scott.
We're going to do some bourbons eventually. I think we're going to do a feature bourbon with this guy over here running the tech for us tonight. He's going to do some shows for us. But I think we're going to stick with Scotches because, I don't know. I had a bourbon not too long ago, and it's just still not – it doesn't do anything for me, man. I just can't get
can
into
appreciate
it.
the bourbons, but it's a whole different deal than Scotch.
I know. I need to get my ass in there and do
He's
some
talking
different stuff,
trash.
but-
You know, I have not looked at any of these comments in quite some time. So without Scott, have you kept an eye on these? I'm sure there's some that are pointed to you.
A little bit, like usual, just a real good conversation going in there amongst everybody else. We had some recommendations come in outside of Masters of Malt for other shippers that are cheaper, you know, coming to the States.
That's the point I want. I was going to make that with you. So you had told me last time you and I talked that Bart had picked up a couple of SMWS bottles. And did he receive those? What was the shipping on this? How'd that pan out?
Yeah, you know, he did a video. But the fact is, they're sitting here because I've reviewed one of them. But they've got a little bottle hanger sitting on them in here.
Oh, my God.
Love it.
Look at that.
Yeah. Good on you, son.
Good on you. What did you think of the whiskey?
I've done, let's see, he got the Sweet Reek and Elegance and Power. Elegance and Power is a 18-year-old Bemore, and the Sweet Reek is an 11-year-old Ardmore. The Ardmore, I got real good notes on it. I've sat down and spent some time with it. I really liked it. Now, Bart did an unboxing, though, video. It's like, it should be like a minute long, but Bart did it, so it's like 6 or 7 minutes long.
Maybe an hour, right?
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
But he went through and he put on there what the cost of each bottle was, and then with shipping and everything, too, kind of the cost of what it came down to.
Yeah. Because I still haven't purchased a bottle from him. I've been a member for 3 months, 4 months now, and
the rest of us have been waiting patiently.
And I'm not gonna lie, I do have a couple asterisks in that I'm interested in. So
yeah, and there was one I was looking at, and it was, I don't remember which one it was, but I think the bottle was $130. And I was thinking, okay, well, that's not too bad. I think that's doable. Let's check out and see what we got. With tax and shipping, by the time I was done, it was $190.
Yeah, see, that's just the freaking kick to the gut.
They got to figure that out. That's too much.
Yeah. I agree. I didn't order it. I mean, I'm like, well, I went from $130 bottle, which is still high but doable.
Yeah, because it was
almost $200.
It was probably 8 years or something, right? I mean, it was.
Gosh, no, I want to say it was an 11-year, maybe a 12, but
It's still $200 for a 12-year-old Scotch. That's so.
Yeah, it's got to be really good for that. I mean, that's a hefty price tag for a 12-year-old bottle shipping. I mean, I wish we had some places close to us we could drive to and pick it up. I mean, because those bottles are great. I mean, the latest review we just did was fantastic.
Yeah, and they do good stuff. I love what they're doing. I just can't afford.
I'm gonna probably cap the night off when we get done with this with one of those glasses, man.
Maybe a cigar.
I mean, just saying.
Two comments that came in. Someone points out, where'd it go? Oh, Travis Fairclough.
Travis, yeah, I see that.
SMWS recently released their first blend called the Exotic Cargo.
Really?
But I believe that's just been overseas. That hasn't been into the States yet. And I know Roy has had a bottle of it. So, Roy, you'll have to let us know how that is.
Yeah,
He's still on too.
Last time I talked to Roy about SMWS, we kind of compared notes and dates and the release, what they call them, outturns. And we came to the conclusion that the U.S. market is about a year behind the European market. So if something is released in Scotland and England in an outturn, you can expect to see it in the outturn. I shouldn't say expect. You should. It'll probably show up in Europe. Right. Well, no, I think they take part of it. They take so many bottles and allocate it to the U.S. I think it takes just a year to get it rebottled, taxes paid, relabeled, because it's all different.
Right.
And so it's interesting, which means it's a good note for you, Scott, and us, and everybody who's a member. We got access to Roy's knowledge. Hey, Roy, 12 months. What should I be looking for? You tell me which guys are the winners, right?
Yeah, and I haven't seen him comment yet. Roy, is that right? Is the Exotic Cargo is just available overseas? And do you know, is it going to be brought into the States?
Well, and Roy he also has access to their Leaf and their Queen Street, so he can go in and try a dram for $4 or $5. Where you got, we're at the mercy of throwing a dart in the wind and grabbing a bottle and hoping it's good. And that's tough to do for $200 for a 12-year-old, right?
I guess we could fly over there and try it.
Amen to that.
Might be cheaper.
I'm okay for that, yeah.
Depends on how many bottles you want to buy, I guess. Dummy con?
I'm going to put my order for breakfast in with Roy.
Roy, you got a big enough house for 6 dummies?
Oh, he will have.
We don't take up much space.
We don't ask. We just move in. We're here.
We're here.
I'm not sure we're having enough room while the board game's up.
Yeah, let's limit Bart's checked-in luggage.
Yeah, Roy points out that the Exotic Cargo, as far as he knows, is only a European release, and he says it sold out really quickly too.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, probably because it's a first run. You know what I mean? Everybody wants that unique thing.
And, they're getting into other things. They're getting into gins. They're getting into rums. They're getting into, does SMWS have cognacs now? They might have cognac.
I'm not sure about that.
They got grain whiskeys. I know that for sure.
Yeah, they do have grain whiskey.
So there's no telling what else you're going to see come out of them.
It's not going to hurt them any.
So you guys are coming up on your next break. Each one of you, what table are you heading to on your break?
So,
you know what? The last time I wandered around and just kind of looked for stuff that was interesting. I mean, the problem is, and it would be the same for you. When you walk through the room, there's a lot of stuff that you've already had, and you're familiar with it, and you don't really need to taste it again. And you can only taste so many.
Right.
So, I'm looking for stuff that's unique, stuff that's either new to the market that I've never had before, or stuff that's a one-off, independent bottling or something like that has some unique characteristics that I want to try out. I don't know what you guys are looking for, Mark.
I'm already disappointed you asked that question. I mean, I walked down to I was off camera. I ran into a couple of guys. Did you just spill
my headphones spilled it. Yeah, I was laughing so hard at your comment.
So here's my heartache, Scott. A couple guys walk up to the table that we ran into last year, and they're like, "Hey, you guys are really doing good." And we had a conversation, and one of them said, "You're the big Johnny Walker guy. You were talking about swing last year, and we finally got a hold of it." And so I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "You need to go down to the Johnny Walker table. They've got this collections bottle that they're pouring. It's about $6.50 a bottle. It's great. You got to try it." Well, of course, I just like, I got to go do it. Run down there, wait in the line, get up. It's gone. They poured all out of it, so I don't know what I'm looking for now. I know it's not the freaking Johnny Walker collection.
I'll bet you there's still a lot to choose from.
There is. And
No,
so
there's a ton.
it's honestly what I found is the ones that are most interesting to me that I really want to try are the ones I don't know are available. If you come up to the table and you start talking to a guy that's pouring, and you talk to him, and you start really getting into what he's got and what he's pouring, and he feels you're worthy, he'll pull out a bottle that he doesn't have on the table. He's like, well, here's the 21 that we're not pouring for everybody else. And, that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for.
And that's okay. We love those people.
Those are the best ones.
Right.
Well, we're going to try and get some of those people to stop by later.
We are. So be on the lookout for them. Drew, what are you looking for?
You know what? I'm the kind of same with you guys. Something a little different, something I haven't had before. So far, I mean, everything. The bin Rioch was a nice one. Everything else I've seen, I've had. So I'm looking for something different. I'm not sure. I'm just going to kind of nosing around and see what's coming up.
Right. And in all fairness, Scott, right now it's already past the VIP time. So all the tables have sort of flipped a little bit and pulled their high-end bottles off and put them underneath, and pulled their regular entry to mid-level, whatever that may mean. So you're not going to see what you did during the VIP. Now they still have those bottles,
but you can kind of fast talk them a little bit.
Right. The people that are walking around with these glasses all got VIP tickets, so you might be able to find.
Well, and us.
Right. Yeah, because now everybody wants to book time to get on camera. Well,
right.
We tried doing that for the past 2 months, so it is what it is.
All right. How much time? You guys got a couple hours left yet, don't you?
Yeah, we've still got a couple more hours
I think
to
we're
go.
going to have to do a half an ounce an hour going forward because it's already.
No, it's time to double down.
Just going to come back and
All right.
pick us up. It'll be all right.
Good to go.
Mark and I are rolling.
I'm on, baby.
It'll be all right.
Old Foresters in their future.
So, Scott, let me ask you. I mean, you've looked through the list a little bit. What would be on your list to go through?
What's sticking out that you're saying you got?
I got to tell you, I was overwhelmed. I don't know. Of course, I mean, you guys are looking at scotches. I'm looking at the whole deal because, bourbon.
Oh, that's true. That's
Irish,
true.
single malts, peat. I mean, bring it.
So let's pull Mike into that. Mike, our tech guy, Mike, he's been on camera. He's a bourbon guy. What out there are you most excited about on this floor right now? Switch
it back first.
Step inside and tell what's the number one that's just got you walking around with a third leg.
Got to say the Corsair was fantastic.
Corsair.
They have a 9 grain that they have out, and it was very good. They have what's in it, buckwheat, quinoa, and then all your typical other ones.
We just shot a review today of the Wildfire. Have you had that one?
They do not have that one here. But they have.
Do you like the Rhymageddon?
Yes, they have that one here. They have the Rhymageddon. I wish I had it on my list of what they have. But the Hydra.
The 7-headed beast.
7-headed bourbon.
Their gin. They have their rum. But I'm a big fan of Corsair. I've been down to their distillery.
So, you got
their
one
quinoa
more.
whiskey is very, very good.
We go on break. What are you going to go grab? Another glass of Corsair.
Actually, I'll probably head over to the Sazerac.
Sazerac?
Yeah, I've had the Stag Junior already. I think I'll go with a dram of the rye.
All right.
Sean wants hit the Japanese whiskey.
Ooh, how about some of those Japanese? I'm down with some of those Japanese whiskeys. I'll tell you what, that Raj, the stuff you brought on,
that was pretty good.
It was definitely worth getting a bottle on the bar and doing a review. So.
Yeah, the Amrut Fusion is a surprise.
Definitely different, and I was surprised after I got it on the palate. You're right. I mean, there is peat in it, but you don't smell it.
Well, Scott, thanks so much, man. Appreciate you as always, sir. You guys are the best. Scotch Test Dummies, check them out. That's it, guys. I think
By the way, what happened to Bart?
Yeah, where's Bart?
His wife was out of town for the week, and she just got back late last night, so they had date night planned tonight.
Yeah.
Understandable.
I bet you could stay on one more night. It's understandable completely, but we definitely missed his antics. I mean, you're not going to come on and admit
we have to
enjoying
end the show like the boys do, right?
Yeah,
But also, I haven't hit the High West yet.
Oh,
There you go.
High West.
All right, I'll say it. Sláinte.
Sláinte, dummies.
Sláinte,
Dummies.
We'll see you, buddy. Take
Thanks,
care.
Scott. Thanks, brother. Oh man, I need to get